What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here with another live stream for you guys. And since we were last live, it seems like bombers going off left, right and centre for Tottenham Hotspur. And we're going to get into all of them, plus more today on the stream. And yeah, let's start off with the big one from last night. Souza finally signed for Tottenham Hotspur. The first of a couple of left-backs that apparently we're signing this weekend, or yeah, we've gone from having one left back to many left backs at this football club, and we're going to go through the Souza announcement before we do anything else.
We'll have to wait and see. It took a while, work permits and all that stuff. But
we'll have to wait. It looks like he's not even going to play, so I don't know what the point is of this, but we'll see. But this is how the club announced it last night. This is the standard video. Bit different actually. This one to previous ones.
Nicely edited. I think they're up in their game. I remember, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, but all the announcements were just like basically cut and paste, weren't they? And it was quite boring. But they seem they've become a bit more creative. I don't know if they got more social media people involved, but nice video. I like it.
And then they tweeted out, we're delighted to announce that we've reached agreement with Brazil's Serie A side Santos for the transfer of Souza on a long-term contract. From Santos to Spurs. He fits. Look, let's be honest, we haven't been blessed with great Brazilian fullbacks at this football club. The last one, Emerson, he's been pretty much chased out of every other club. And the one before that, Gilberto, oh my God, he was... To be honest,
Brazilians in general, I mean, apart from Lucas Moura, you can say was good. I mean, Aurelio Gomez had his moments. Apart from that, it's been pretty woeful. Paulinho,
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah,
Emerson, Gilberto,
the pigeon,
Richarlison. It's we haven't.
This is the one though.
We don't have a great.
This is the one. This is the one. Don't you worry about it. This is the one. Then they tweeted out saying from Santos to Spurs. Number 38 he's going to take. Is that Destiny's old number? It was
Destiny's old number. Yeah. So, yeah, when he was an up-and-coming left-back, that's the number he had. And now Souza's taking that spot. Look, let's hope that he provides this good future at left-back that we need. Look, we'll talk about future deals that looks like that in the pipeline at the moment. But there's a suggestion maybe, does he go out on loan now? Because it looks like we're getting another backup left back in his place. Is it possible maybe, do we see him as a potential option left wing in the meantime while we've got left back covered and we're not certain about signing a left winger in this window? Does he do a job there? The thought of him coming into the Champions League squad is now also seems far-fetched.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Other signings coming, and so he's going to be left out of that. Look, to be fair, we did say, this is a 19-year-old kid, only played 20 top-level games in the Brazilian league. So the thought of him coming in and expecting him to, hit the ground running was always going to be a bit fanciful. Maybe that's what the club are planning for.
Yeah, one for the future, it seems. When we were first linked with him, I thought that's it. He's going to be the rotation backup option for a doggy, but doesn't seem to be the case.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does go out on loan maybe to a European team.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. So if you scroll up, you can see that's obviously, as we mentioned before, Souza 38, and then he did an interview on the Spurs website as well. Just it's really incredible to join Spurs. It's childhood dream. Is that coming?
A Spurs fan.
I think his childhood dream is playing in the Premier League, not playing for Spurs.
When I was 5 years old, I first saw Gilberto run down that left-hand side.
And the rest is history.
Then I knew Spurs was the team for me. He was even born when Gilberto played for Tottenham, actually.
What year was Gilberto at Spurs?
2008. And he's 19, so he would have been, what, 2? Maybe 1. 2.
Does he even know who Gilberto is?
He has probably no idea.
And then they've got him in the home and away kits there in the yellow and white as well. So
he looks good in it. Suits him.
Definitely suits him. I wonder how long, if he's ever going to even play in that shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I think it's one for the future. It probably is like a little doggy Saar, Bergvall type of signing where we're signing him now. I don't think he's going to be part of the first team this season. As much as I thought he was, I think we're going to try and loan him out. That's the sense I get. Unless they want to keep him around to learn from a doggy and Robertson potentially, or play, or maybe have a minute to left wing because we're struggling there, and we know he's a player who, if maybe the thought is maybe we're going to go to a back three a bit more. Maybe he can be used at wing back a bit, but I think we're going to try loan him out. That's if I'm hazard a guess.
Yeah, I mean,
loan to a European team.
I wouldn't have said that before this morning. To
No.
be honest, I would have said before this morning he's going to be an option for us from now to the end of the season. But with the news that we're going to cover next, it looks like that's not the case. And let's get into it, because I think it took everyone by surprise today, this next news. And David Ornstein dropped the bomber this morning, saying that Tottenham are working on a deal to sign Andy Robertson from Liverpool. Tottenham brought forward the plan to buy 31-year-old Liverpool left-back as a free agent this summer. Not done, but talks between all parties are advancing in a bid to reach an agreement. Amicable negotiations between all parties are advancing in Spurs' attempt to land Andy Robertson. Florian Plettenberg saying that Tottenham are now pushing to sign Andy Robertson with immediate effect. Understand a verbal agreement is done. Clubs are now in negotiations. And David Heiner says that desire on all sides to get the deal done quickly for Andy Robertson to join Tottenham. Matt Law says that Thomas Frank is said to have been attracted by Robertson's leadership qualities on and off the pitch. Robertson is seen as someone who can drive standards in the dressing room and take responsibility on the pitch. It's believed that Andy Robertson earns in the region of 160 grand a week at Liverpool, and there is acknowledgement that he'll remain a big earner at Tottenham Hotspur. So, yeah. When I first saw the news, I was thinking, Tottenham, what the hell are you doing here? What are you smoking, signing Andy Robertson well past his best? But the more I've thought about it, the more I've kind of warmed to the idea, because like Matt Law mentions about Thomas Frank wanting leadership qualities in this squad, I think that's something he definitely brings. Obviously, captain of Scotland, vice-captain of Liverpool, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, a gap in the squad. Well, we've signed Souza, but in terms of if they plan to use him or not, clearly the plan is not to use him and use him as one for the future. But as a backup or a squad rotation option for Destiny Udogie, someone that Liverpool have used this season with the experience that he does have, I don't see this as the kind of terrible move that a lot of maybe Spurs fans are thinking about it as.
I mean, I'm kind of split on it. I can see the pros. There's definitely pros and cons to this deal. As you say, I think the main thing he brings is, first of all, the know-how, the winning mentality. He's obviously won multiple now league titles at Liverpool, won a Champions League. He's been a big kind of fixture in that team as well, a loud voice in the dressing room. I don't know if you've ever seen like any behind-the-scenes stuff of Liverpool, and they've won leagues and stuff. Robertson's usually one of the loudest people in the dressing room, barking orders. He doesn't take any shit from anyone. So from all that point of view, like, he's very encouraging. He does drive standards on the pitch. He's not afraid to let people know what he's thinking and feeling, and hold people accountable. You see that on the pitch, and I think that's real positive traits, and a leader, someone we definitely need in the dressing room, and I think he helps with that. We know we have a very young squad, a very inexperienced squad as well, and he'll really help with all of that. The only problem is he's definitely past his best. We all know that. Last season, he was really struggling last season. That's why they signed COYS, because Robertson, it became very apparent, this guy is he's not his best anymore. He's really struggling for form, and he was costing him a lot of goals last season. Even though they won the league, he really struggled last season. So they signed COYS this season. And it's weird, not weird, but this season he's obviously taken a more of a periphery role. And I've been chatting to a few of my Liverpool friends who are Liverpool fans, and they say when he's been playing, he's actually been quite good, but it's because he's kind of been used sparingly rather than week in, week out as their first choice left back. And I think that makes sense, because at 31 as well, given the systems he's played in, Klopp's system, so intense, he had to do crazy amount of work when he was down that side, because he was like just tasked with being up and down that wing for years and years and years. It makes sense he was going to burn out at some point, but apparently he has kept his body in great shape, and he's like he's a model professional, and he's like in very good condition. But coming to Tottenham, apparently he's wanting out of Liverpool because he wants to go somewhere where he's going to play and he's going to start. Has he been given those assurances by Thomas Frank he's going to be our first choice left back? If he has, I've got a few issues with that, because first of all, I think Udogie is the future and he's ahead of him right now, albeit he's got injury problems. I do really rate Udogie. I don't know if Robertson is good enough right now to be our first choice left back. I do definitely think if he comes in as a rotation option for a doggy, it's positive. And look, I don't have a massive issue with him, albeit he's massively on the decline. But there's talks of a 3-year deal. There's talks of him wanting to leave Liverpool because he wants to play more regularly. And also when it comes to raising like the technical level of the squad, I don't think he's massive technical player, but he is good going forward and he's a good crosser of the ball when he gets in the final third. So I do like that. So I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, we're signing a declining 31-year-old who's past his best, but he still has those intangibles that we are missing from the squad, which are definitely needed. It kind of just depends on what role is intended for him. It seems like an opportunistic signing, but the report's also suggesting we were going to go for him in the summer, if not now. So it seems like that's something that's been in the pipeline for a while. I'm leaning towards it's probably more good than bad, to be honest, because I like what he'll bring. But he is also a player that's kind of won it all. So the question, I guess, would be, given that he's 31, given that he's past his best, the big question for him is that hunger still there?
Yeah, I think he's a model professional. I really believe that. You know, he's got a World Cup to get him in shape for this summer as well. I think he'll definitely give his all. You know, he's got so much leadership qualities and experience in abundance. And look, don't get me wrong. If he is coming here to be our first choice left back, I think it's an absolutely stinker of a move for Tottenham Hotspur. But I think for the role that I envisage him in the squad, I think it could be really valuable to Spurs to have him in the squad. And I'm fairly happy with this deal, to be honest. And I know what people are thinking. You know, we need to take the squad up to the next level. Why not sign a left back that is, you know, better than Destiny, or that can challenge properly Destiny for the first team squad?
Like Anthony Robertson.
Like Anthony Robertson.
Maybe he'll be
100%. And that's probably the way that Spurs should be going. But when you're looking at where Spurs are at right now, finished 17th last season, 14th, 15th in the league this season. We're struggling week in, week out in the Premier League. Obviously, that is mainly due to tactics, and maybe you'd think that the squad is a lot better than what we're showing. But like you mentioned before, we've got so many young players that need direction within this squad right now. And I think having someone like Robertson could be really valuable behind the scenes for us. And, you know, Ben Davies has seemingly played his last game for Spurs, and I see this as a kind of upgrade replacement for him. And yeah, look, I got an issue with it if he's going to come here and command a first team spot, which I don't think he will. But I think he will have a lot of value within the squad.
Yeah, I think so. And I think with the relatively cheap price, it makes a lot of sense. Reports of a 3-year deal, which would take him to 34. So whether he would see out that deal or not. I'm just wondering why Liverpool... Sorry, why he wants to leave Liverpool, apparently, because he wants to play. So Liverpool are allowing him to leave now in January. Is he going to play here more than he's playing at Liverpool? If yes, is that a problem? If no, why is he coming here?
Well, you're saying he only had 4 starts for Liverpool this season. I guess, you know, judging on what we're seeing from Robertson, obviously he is a player on decline, like you mentioned, but we've got a left back that we can't keep fit. So I guess he probably will play more. And
I guess with Souza, that's already the plan for the future. I mean, you know, you've got Robertson while Souza's developing in the short term. And then once his contract's up or whatever in the next couple of years, if Souza sticks around, hopefully by the time Robertson leaves, Souza's ready to step up.
Yeah, Robertson might not even see out the whole contract here. That's the reality. I think there's a high chance of that. But yeah, look, even someone like Destiny Udogie, who I think is a lot better than Andy Robertson right now, and obviously has, you know, years and years to keep progressing. I think he'll learn a lot from having Robertson there in the squad, and I think the young players will see him as someone to look up to. And yeah, he can teach the players a lot, and you know, he comes in as the biggest leader at the club. Let's not forget that.
How mad is this? This is the first time Udogie's had a left back with him, isn't it?
Yeah, and now he's got 2 left backs with him.
Ever since he's like been a first team player, Udogie's literally not. I mean, I guess you've had Ben Davies, but he's been more of a centre back for the last few years. Yeah. So it's like the first time he's had genuine help that can just someone who can just slot in there without really being out of place. And that hopefully that can really lead to Udogie managing his time on the pitch and injuries a lot better, and we see a better Udogie on the pitch than we have done as well. So I think that's obviously a massive positive. And let's see what kind of level Robertson truly is at, because I guess the big fear is once you do hit that age, we know he's already declining. We know that he's nowhere near what he was, when he was at his peak, which, by the way, people overlook. He's probably goes down as one of the best left backs that's ever played in the Premier League, which is mad to think about. You got Ashley Cole, and then how many more are that much better than him? So he's obviously a Premier League legend from that point of view, and has been part of a very successful Liverpool team and looked very good. But yeah, the fear is once you hit that stage, once that decline starts setting in, it can happen quite rapidly. And you could, as we've seen with so many players, one season, they're at the top of their game even, and the next season the decline can be very, very sharp. And I guess the fear is that decline already starting to set in Robertson, and how sharp is that decline going to happen? What's the problem is you've given him a 3-year deal, you sign him now, and the next 6 months it becomes very apparent this guy isn't up to it. That's obviously the big fear, and then you're stuck with him with another 2-year deal. But let's hope it's not quite that bad. From what I've heard and what I've seen, to be honest, he hasn't looked bad this season when he's played. And if you use him, manage him, and use him kind of sparingly, he seems like still capable of providing good performances.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does bring up a problem in terms of our European squad, though, doesn't it? In terms of who we bring in, who we take out. Only allowed 3 changes. Matisse Tell, obviously not in the squad. Telezak Kulusevski, is he going to be brought back in? It brings up that issue, which we'll come round to and speak to at the time after the Frankfurt game. But all in all, I think it could be a bit of a smart signing for Spurs, where it's not the long-term player that we want to fill that role, but he could provide a purpose for us over the next year or two. I really believe that.
Short term. Yeah, let's see. I mean, it could really go either way. If his decline is that quick and it's been that sharp, then this is going to be a complete waste of time. But
well, you say it's a waste of time. It might be a waste of time on the pitch, but I think off the pitch it's going to be very valuable for Tottenham Hotspur. We're in such a bad way. We need those voices in the dressing room, which we don't seem to have right now. And I think he comes in straight away into the leadership group, in my opinion. He'll be...
I'm sure he'll captain some games, probably.
Yeah, look, he is the biggest leader in that dressing room right now, already. So I think from that aspect, I think it's going to be massively valuable with Spurs, even if he's not great on the pitch.
Yeah. Just the question is, he's coming from an environment which was obviously looking to win titles and very competitive environment, in a sense that he's coming from a club with very high standards and an expectation to win. He's come to Tottenham where the environment seems to be very different, and whether that's a culture shock to him, whether he starts to get disillusioned by being in that culture.
His national team is Scotland, so I won't worry too much.
Yeah, maybe he's used to it, I guess. But let's just hope he doesn't get fed up very quickly with how things are done here, I guess. Even though he's the one obviously setting the standards, it's all well and good doing that, but if you're the only guy trying to do it and everyone else is not, then it can become like a losing battle, can't it?
Yeah.
And let's just hope he doesn't get fed up with that.
Yeah, I mean, he could be seen as the manager's right-hand man moving forward, in terms of from that aspect of what he brings. Could be a bit similar with the Kyle Walker thing. Kyle Walker's at Burnley now, and whenever I see Kyle Walker play for Burnley, I know he's obviously past his best, but I think he's been pretty good for Burnley, to be honest, and he keeps up his standards in terms of always with that work rate, and he provides a big thing in terms of leadership ability. But Kyle Walker's a lot older than Andy Robertson, and
so we're comparing this Kyle Walker to Burnley and thinking it's a good thing.
But Kyle Walker's been very good for Burnley. I think it's similar, but on a bigger scale.
I don't think it's an exciting signing, put it that way. But
no, definitely not.
I think it's a signing that there's definitely logic to it. But whether it's going to work out, I think there's a lot of reasons why it won't. But I think it's also a low risk one as well. There's not low money. It'll be coming on high wages though. Yeah, it'll come on high wages, but the risk isn't great. So I guess it's worth doing for the short term. If he can get anywhere near what we know he's capable of, it's going to be worth doing. But if he's not capable of reaching anywhere near those levels, then it won't be worth doing. Another element to this deal, which people are surmising, is this a softener for Liverpool in preluding to an approach in the summer for Micky van der Ven?
Nah, don't buy into the narrative, Sim.
That's what people are saying. I'm not buying. I'm just saying. I'm positing.
What people?
There's people online saying this is that this is a softener.
Who's saying it?
There's people online saying it. There's journalists that are saying that Liverpool are very interested in Van de Ven, and this could start, an icebreaker.
What journalist is saying that?
I got James Pearce, I think it was.
Who is that? He's a Liverpool journalist.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think Van de Ven's leaving this summer.
We all want to believe that.
No, I do believe that. Do you think it is?
I don't know. To be honest, I think if we finish mid-table, there's every chance he might.
No, because it's going to take
European
only if a monstrous offer comes in.
Correct, and they've been doing monstrous offers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not crazy.
I don't know, man. I think
Of course, we
Spurs.
don't want to lose him.
Yeah, I think Spurs are gonna dig their heels in this summer for Micky van de Ven, and like they have done in the past with other players. So I don't think Van de Ven signs a contract, but I think we're gonna persuade him to give it another year.
I hope you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's for me. It's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch. Like I think, given how bad we've been this season, and if we got no European football to speak of, this is a guy with lots of ambition, and there's big clubs coming in for him. So if the money's there, it depends. It depends on him. How desperate is he to leave? Is he gonna throw tantrums? Is he gonna force it, or is he gonna be fine? Look, I'll give it more time. Depends where his head's at, but. Obviously, Liverpool, we've now got a rapport with them with this deal. So I wonder if they'll come back to the table in the summer.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll test the waters, but are they really going to bid like over 90 to 100 million for him? I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
They did for Robertson and Isak.
Yeah, they did. It's true.
And they need to think of a long-term replacement for Van Dijk.
Yeah. I just feel like they'll think, they'll come to the table for Micky van de Ven, and we're going to make it incredibly difficult for them. And unless Micky van de Ven does an Isak, which I don't think he will, then look, maybe they will. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll see this kind of summer as the opportunity to get his move to Liverpool, because it might go after this summer. But my guess is that we're able to convince him to stay for another year, and if things don't get better, then we'll look to sell him. Don't want to think about Micky van de Ven leaving.
Depressing thought.
But on Micky van de Ven, Sky Sports are reporting that Tottenham's intention is to sit down with Van de Ven's representative, discuss an improved contract, as the club do not intend to let him leave. Well, that will always be the intention, won't it?
Yeah, of course. And if we get him to sign that contract, that would be fantastic. I wonder if he does sign, if one of the stipulations in it is he wants a release clause. I'd wonder if that's what he would want if he was to sign. Would you accept giving him a new contract with a release clause?
Depends what that release clause is.
100 million.
No.
No, you wouldn't do it.
No. Because I think we'll only let him go for 100 million anyway this summer.
How much would it have to be for you?
A release clause? 200? Something unattainable.
Well, then he wouldn't accept that. But I'm saying, would you? Let's say he says, "I will sign a contract if you give me a 100 million release clause. I'll sign that contract. Otherwise, I'm not signing."
No, because you may as well just sell him. You may as well just sell him now. If he sees no future here, and he'll jump at the chance if anyone bids 100 million, you may as well just sell him and start planning in the future without him. What's the point of just prolonging the inevitable?
Because at least it's 100 million right there, if without the release clause.
Yeah, but we're only going to let him go for 100 this summer anyway.
Okay, what about 120?
No, I mean, look, if he wants to go, let him go. There's nothing we can do about it. I'll just let him go if we get the bid this summer, if he's desperate to go. There's no point keeping someone that doesn't want to be here.
Well, but you just said we can convince him to stay.
I said that's what the club is going to do.
No, you said you think we will.
Yeah, I think we're going to reject offers and keep him for another year. That's what I think we're going to do. But if he's desperate to leave, I would say let him go.
And I think that isn't impossible.
Yeah, but look, that's the reality. Like, you can't hold a player against their will. That's the reality in this.
We did for Kane for 2 years.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, I think it's a bit different though. Kane's a boy from the academy, and he has close ties to Tottenham, and he loves the club and everything like that. Like, Micky's been here for 2 years? I think it's a completely different situation. If Micky van der Ven is hell-bent on leaving this summer, I think Spurs got to get the most money we can and probably sell him. As much as it pains us, I think that's probably the situation we're going to have to do.
I think a player like Micky you can force to stay, and I don't think his standards would drop, to be honest. But the point is...
You don't know that, though. We don't know that.
I think he knows he would have to keep playing well to get a big move. But, like, I think most players these days, even when a lot of them are forced to stay, I mean, I guess it depends on the player. It's absolutely right. But I think it depends on the situation. But I think I would, if there's 100, if he's only going to sign a contract with a release clause, I think I'd probably agree to it, to be honest, because that's the best chance you got of just keeping it longer. And then even if someone breaks it, then it's 120 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like only small clubs put release clauses in contracts. That's the reality. Unless, the big clubs, if they've got a release clause in a contract, it's like an unattainable release clause. It doesn't smack as something great to do, and if he's desperate for that release clause, yeah, it all depends how much it is. 150 million to 200 million, I would consider it, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with this situation.
There's just a vibe I get, not necessarily from him, like his body language, but also just some of his actions, doing that interview on the overlap. Like there's just a lot of noise around him at the moment. Is his agent feeding stuff about him?
Yeah, but we had the same with Romero last season. We were like, Romero's definitely off this summer. This Atletico thing makes so much sense. Like, not of everything is always as it seems.
I think he probably wanted to. He somehow got convinced to stay, or maybe there wasn't the interest he thought there would be. But I just get a vibe from Micky. There's something telling me I think he really does want to go. Or at the moment, not necessarily he's like hell-bent on going, but the way things are going at Tottenham, he's probably looking at it and thinking, what is going on at this club? Like, I don't want to be here much longer.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for wanting to leave. Don't blame him at all. His level of what he's performing week in, week out is a lot better than everyone else. That's the reality. He's the best. I think he's the most consistent and best player that we got right now. That's the reality. So I don't blame him. I think, but like I said, I do think Spurs are going to dig their heels in this summer. They're going to make it incredibly difficult for him to leave, and they'll try to go back to the drawing board with all their fallacy of their future plans and try and convince him. It's up to him whether he falls for it or not, like Romero did.
So the only hope we have is for Van der Ven to be fooled.
Basically, yeah. I think that's where we're at.
Need to get a magician in there or something.
Well, we did it for Romero. He's probably looking at Romero saying, "You idiot."
Well, Romero's even said they just come in and say some lies.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, you just lied to me in the summer.
Yeah.
Well, it's a depressing thought. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the summer. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about if Micky's going to be here in the long term. The way things are going, put it that way. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a different manager. I mean, but he's playing well, to be fair, under Frank. He has improved, but I don't know.
One more year, I say. One more year, he's going to give it. And if that doesn't happen, I think he'll have his pick of his teams. But it's going to take a big transfer. But when it comes to next summer, it'll probably be a bit cheaper, won't it?
Still be a significant fee, but yeah.
I think probably 100 million, or like 80 to 100 million this summer, and probably around 70 million.
The reports are we want a Premier League record fee if we're going to sell him.
Yeah, what is the Premier League record for a defender?
It's Isaac, isn't it? Oh, well, Isaac's the record for any transfer.
I imagine it's a defender record fee. What would that be?
Don't know. What's the Premier League? Anyone in the chat?
Maguire, 80 million, no?
Maguire's 80. I mean, it said Premier League record, not defend for a defender, but I think we'd probably demand over 100 million. I would say that. But I reckon the starting point would be Isaac's fee. That would be the starting point, to be honest.
What did he go for?
125.
Yeah, we're not getting that.
Well, that would be the starting point, I think. Maybe
all right.
100 million plus Curtis Jones.
100 million plus Curtis Jones. Another player that we're linked with is Can Uzun of Frankfurt. As Court of Size says that Tottenham are interested in signing Frankfurt midfielder Can Uzun. The 20-year-old has impressed in Germany and has 12 goal contributions in all competitions. He is seen as the new golden boy of European football. Yeah, I think he's more of a 10, so I don't really understand this too much. We've got Javi there, Maddison coming back, Kulusevski coming back.
Gallagher can even play there now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure that Spurs will be going for a 10.
No, I don't think so either. Especially one who's young, up and coming. It doesn't seem to make too much sense to me right now to sign him. Maybe it's one for the future, but yeah, I know it's caught offside, so I doubt it's a reliable link.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs have been looking, though, if you're talking about up and coming. We're probably looking at all up and coming players across, no matter what position they're in, across European football. So I wouldn't be surprised if actually Spurs go for it, because that's what we do. It doesn't matter about what positions we need. We just go, if you're up and coming and got a future sell-on value, we'll take you.
Get him in.
So I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let us know your thoughts on the Andy Robertson thing in the comment section below. I'm seeing a lot of different and mixed reports or mixed kind of opinions on Andy Robertson from Tottenham fans. I'm seeing a lot of kind of mixed opinions from Liverpool fans as well. Like a lot of Liverpool fans are like, oh, how can we let him go right now? I think it's a bit of a joke. And a lot of people saying, look, he's past his best. Probably best just to let him go now. So we've gathered a few opinions on